Kenya is recording a growing burden of non-communicable diseases that experts say is becoming worsened by climate change. Rising temperatures, air pollution, and shifting environmental conditions are increasingly linked to chronic illnesses such as heart diseases, kidney disease, and respiratory conditions. Speaking during a stakeholders' engagement on healthcare resilience in sub-Saharan Africa, organized by BEARS, Dr. Jack Kileba, Medical Governance and Excellence Lead, Sub-Saharan Africa, said climate change is now a key driver of changing disease patterns, calling for stronger preparedness and data-driven responses.
For women, and particularly pregnant women, there's much impact during pregnancy. So, for instance, the diseases of diabetes or preeclampsia, which is hypertension in pregnancy, increases with climate change. Then also heart diseases, what we call cardiovascular and kidney diseases, heart and kidney diseases. We're also seeing an increase in that because the way the body regulates its heat is very much related with how its blood circulates. So heart diseases are on the increase with that.
Dr. Kileba noted that cardiovascular diseases are increasing due to heat, stress, and dehydration, while respiratory illnesses such as asthma and chronic lung conditions are being aggravated by air pollution, dust, and environmental changes. He added that pregnant women, low-income communities, and outdoor workers remain the most vulnerable. He also raised concerns over major data gaps in Kenya-specific research on climate-related non-communicable diseases, saying this limits effective planning and response even as health systems face growing pressure from the dual burden of climate impacts and chronic diseases. George Livingstone, County Division Head, Pharmaceutical Sub-Saharan Africa at BEARS, said Kenya plays a key role in strengthening regional healthcare resilience through innovation, investment, and improved access to medicines. However, he noted that lengthy regulatory approval processes continue to delay pharmaceutical products reaching the market.
Can we advance from the regulatory side, that we have a harmonization, that products from Kenya are going from the regulatory side, approved seamlessly to be distributed to 300 million patients, 300 million inhabitants in Tanzania, in Rwanda, in Ethiopia.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards Central Region has launched a new laboratory testing facility aimed at reducing sample analysis time and strengthening regulatory enforcement. Speaking in Nyeri, KEBS Central Regional Manager Jacqueline Kanyera said the facility will enhance the fight against illicit alcohol by ensuring faster and more reliable test results. Previously, samples had to be sent to KEBS headquarters, causing delays in enforcement action. The new decentralized lab is expected to improve efficiency, support multi-agency crackdowns, and enhance consumer safety and product quality standards. Kanyera said the initiative will also speed up decision-making by regulators and improve compliance monitoring across the region.
Been having complaints about how reports take long, especially the test reports, and that is why in the year 2024, in the month of May, we started our laboratories at Meru office, and this has really helped us reduce the turnaround time for our test reports and has enhanced faster certification of products, and also has really helped in multi-agency activities.
Away from that, doctors in Isiolo County have begun an industrial strike following an expiry of 21-day notice issued to the county government. The strike, announced by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacist and Dentist Union KMPDU Upper Eastern Branch, is over delayed salaries, non-remittance of statutory deductions, lack of medical cover, and poor working conditions. KMPDU Upper Eastern Branch Chairperson Kananu Kubai said repeated attempts to resolve the issue had failed, leaving doctors with no option but to strike. She also cited intimidation and prolonged salary delays affecting health workers. Tourism stakeholders in Laikipia County have opposed plans to construct an Ebola quarantine center in Nanyuki, warning it could negatively impact the region's tourism sector. Speaking during an expo organized by the Laikipia Wildlife Forum, industry players said the project risks creating negative perceptions that could discourage visitors and lead to cancellation or postponement of travel plans. They argue that the move comes at a time when the country is working to strengthen its tourism industry.
Businesses will be lost, incomes will be lost, even to KRA. Look at what happened, what was the impact with with COVID is some 2 years ago. And it is very, very important that we plead with the government of Kenya to safeguard the livelihoods of the many, many, many Kenyans that are going to be affected.
It's quite an attractive place for all kinds of touristic activities. The number of tourists are increasing. The conservancies are there. In fact, Laikipia has the biggest number of conservancies in the country. So this is their day. And exhibitors have come all the way from Nairobi. Others have even come all the way from Nakuru. And we find this very interesting so that we can promote tourism.
A low turnout was recorded in Kiambu County as the National Assembly Department Committee on Finance and National Planning began a week-long public participation exercise across 12 counties. The team, led by Committee Chairperson and Aina Moi, Member of Parliament Benjamin Kip-Kirui, is collecting views on the Finance Bill 2026 and Sovereign Wealth Fund Bill, the Central Bank of Kenya Amendment Bill, and the Kenya Revenue Authority Amendment Bill. Kip-Kirui raised concerns over misinformation circulating on social media, urging Kenyans to rely on verified documents during public participation forums. He also noted challenges in civic education, saying many citizens still lack clarity on how laws are made. The proposed Sovereign Wealth Fund Bill sparked debate, with stakeholders calling for stronger safeguards, transparency, and accountability in managing public funds. The committee will continue its nationwide consultation before compiling a report for parliamentary consideration.
We also have to engage maybe in future with the other arm of government how they could be fast-tracking court cases relating to taxes so that we don't bring these issues here. If your matter lands to court, let the court administer that issue in the shortest time possible. You can be relieved to do your business, or Kenya Revenue could be accorded powers to collect what is collectible.
Very disappointed because a county like Kiambu County, where we have close to 3 million residents or people, the public participation was poorly mobilized.
And environmental stakeholders in Malindi have planted more than 5,000 mangrove seedlings at the Sabaki River estuary in Moi village to restore the degraded ecosystem. The exercise was led by Malindi Municipality Environment Officer Elizabeth Kanana alongside members of the Sabaki Mangrove and Hippo conservation organizations, with support from partners including the Kenya Wildlife Service, Kenya Prison Service, Kenya Red Cross, Rotary Club of Malindi, and local youths. Stakeholders emphasized the importance of protecting mangrove to enhance biodiversity and boost ecotourism in the region. And that's it from the Eastleigh Voice News Desk. I'm Zainab Said.